Dr. Mindy here, and on this video, I'm going to share with you some of the ways I like to measure fasting and how do you know if it's actually working for you. So if you're new to my channel, I just want to say welcome. I'm here in 2021, working really hard to make sure that we get 1 million people to this channel, that we inspire people with the fasting lifestyle, because nothing will heal your body like learning how to fast. And intermittent fasting is the beginner fast. And I mean that with love. It doesn't mean the other fasts are better, but we want to teach you how to start fasting right. And it starts with intermittent fasting. So on this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways that I like to measure my fasts to make sure that my fasts are working for me. So glad you're here. And if you share my videos out, thank you. So grateful for all of you and your kind comments. And let's dive right into it. Okay. The first thing with intermittent fasting I want you to realize is that the goal of intermittent fasting is to start to train yourself to become a fat burner. If you've never fasted before, what's happened is you've been living in the sugar burner world. We have 2 energy systems that our body will gather energy from or will create energy from. One is the sugar burner system, one is the fat burner system. If you've been dieting your whole life, you've been trying to figure out the perfect eating style for you, you've probably only been in the sugar burner system. You haven't tapped into the fat burner system. Fasting is the door in to tap into the system. So the goal is to go from sugar burner to fat burner. So how do we measure if you are going into that fat burning system? Okay, the first is we can measure your blood sugar and your ketones. Now, there are a lot of different tools you can use. Our favorite for measuring both blood sugar and ketones is something called a Keto Mojo. It's a little pinprick that you have to create. I promise it maybe hurts the first time, but then you get used to it over time. And it will tell you both blood sugar and ketones. And I'll tell you when to measure them here in a moment. The second tool that we are really excited about in our Resetter community is what they call a CGM. CGM stands for Continuous Glucose Monitor, and it gets inserted on the back of your arm. Again, I promise it doesn't hurt. It goes right on the back of your arm, and it will give you readings of your blood sugar only throughout the day. But it is a really cool minute-by-minute analysis of what your blood sugar is doing. So they're both incredible tools. We like Keto Mojo for the handheld one. For the CGM, we like NutriSense. So those, we'll put links for those, and they're also in the companion guide. So if you want a free companion guide to the intermittent fasting, just put companion guide. So you want to measure. It really is the best way to do this. But when do you measure? So I like for our resetters to measure first thing in the morning, so right when you get up, and then right before you eat your first meal. So what should happen here is you should be looking for blood sugar levels that are around, and these are American terms, around 70 to 90. So if you're staying within 70, 90, your blood sugar is doing really well. If you wake up between 70 and 90, that's amazing. Now, in that second reading, what you're looking for, let's say you woke up at 120 or you woke up at 150. The thing you're looking for in that second reading is for your blood sugar to go down. This is the first step to fasting. We want to know if you go into these fasted states, does your blood sugar respond? Some of you are going to notice your blood sugar goes up, and we'll troubleshoot that over the coming months. So subscribe to my channel, join our academy. We'll be unpacking that. But for the majority of us, we need to make sure that your blood sugar is going down in that second reading. Now, if you're new to fasting, it's very common for you to wake up not in ketosis. Ketosis is anything over 0.5. And so if you wake up, you look at your Keto Mojo and you're like, oh my God, it says low. Well, I've been fasting. I've been doing everything she says to do. Hang tight, because you got to train the body to be able to move into this ketogenic state. So in the morning, it's often very low. Your body uses ketones at night, but that second reading right before you break your fast should be anywhere from 0.5 and above. If you're at 0.5, you are entering into nutritional ketosis. Your body is making that switch over to fat burning. So we want the blood sugar to go down, and we want the ketones to go up in that second reading compared to the first one. That's basic, wonderful intermittent fasting strategies. Okay, second thing you can do if you either don't want to buy the Keto Mojo or the CGM, then you can really watch your symptoms. And one way that we know intermittent fasting is working for you is when you start to make this switch over to the fat burning energy system. And when that switch happens, there's a couple very clear symptoms that will show up. One, you'll get better mental clarity. Now, what it might feel like is you're learning to fast and you're like, oh, this is uncomfortable, I'm uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden, it seems like in a matter of minutes, you're like, whoa, oh my gosh, my energy's better, I'm feeling more comfortable, I have better mental clarity. That's where there's a click that gets turned on that is signaling that you're now in the fat burning energy system. So better mental clarity, loss of hunger. And the third one is probably my most favorite way that I know I'm in ketosis, that my fasts are working for me, is I get energized. And it's kind of a strange energy. It's like maybe it's 10 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh, I'm dragging a little bit, I probably need a second cup of coffee. You're looking at your watch and you're thinking, oh my God, I better go. Is it time to break my fast? And all of a sudden you get distracted, get pulled into a meeting, and you come back and you're like, oh my God, my energy's better, my hunger's gone, and I feel like somebody supercharged my cells. That is called ketones, and that is a great sign that intermittent fasting is working for you. And I'm going to throw one more thing in there because I think this is really important, and a lot of us who have learned to fast over the years have discovered that this symptom goes away, which is we don't have to use exercise as a tool to manage our weight. That all of a sudden our weight is where we want it to be despite how often we work out. Now, it doesn't give you a free pass to not work out, but it is a sign that your intermittent fasting lifestyle is working for you. Okay, third step that you want to look at, or third sign that intermittent fasting is working for you, is that your hormonal imbalances go away. So you'll hear on my channel, I talk a lot about how to fast for your sex hormones, progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. When you first come to intermittent fasting, two of those hormones really should respond nicely, and those are estrogen and testosterone. There's been incredible research, mostly done on men, showing that something as simple as 13 to 15 hours of fasting can increase a man's testosterone levels by 1,300%. Greater than he can naturally produce on his own. It goes up to 2,000% if you get up into that 24-hour fast moment. So we're going to balance with intermittent fasting. We can balance estrogen and testosterone really nicely. And how you would know that those hormones are starting to balance out with your intermittent fasting lifestyle is hot flashes. If you're a woman or a perimenopausal woman, hot flashes should start to go away, especially at night, those night sweats. Your motivation, this is for both sexes, your motivation may go up. All of a sudden you're craving working out. That can be a sign testosterone is going up. Or you have the drive to finish projects at your house or at work that you just didn't have drive before. That's testosterone. You could also find that it's much easier to build muscle. Again, muscle, a lot of people, I get asked this question all the time, is doesn't fasting break down muscle? Not necessarily. There's some hacks you can use to build muscle, and intermittent fasting is one of those hacks to be able to raise testosterone and build more muscle. And then the last one, which is really interesting, is that a lot of times when you have too much toxic estrogen because of endocrine disruptors in our environment, you can get fat and build fat in very weird places, like in between that hump in between your shoulders, shoulder blade. That can be bad fat that's coming from too much estrogen. If you're a man and you're noticing that you're starting to get what we lovingly call the man boobs, very possible that's too much estrogen. All the extra fat, both men and women around your belly, that can be too much estrogen. So as you start to, just something as simple as intermittent fast, you should notice that those strange fat patterns should go away. So look for the lack of hunger, look for the better mental clarity, the better energy, and then look for those obscure fat deposits, and are they shifting? If they are, you are making a hormonal shift for the positive, and your intermittent fasting is working for you. So, as always, I want you to fall in love with fasting because you were born in a miracle, and nobody's taught you how to tap into that miracle, and that's what fasting is doing. That's what I'm here to help you do. And if you're overwhelmed and you're like, oh my God, she's telling me too many things, I wrote it all down in a companion guide. If you want the free companion guide, just put free companion guide in your comments and we'll send you a link. Hope it helps.